The first filter we're going to go over in today's snipe filter video is the center dark matter rockets filter, man. What you want to do is set your position to center, put your color to dark matter. You're going to set your team to the Houston Rockets, man. And you're going to scroll your maximum buyout up until you find the cheapest Dwight Howard on your console. It's going for about 7,000 MT on Xbox, man. What I suggest is you scroll with the cheapest one. Obviously there's two, so you want to just put your MT 50 MT cheaper than the cheapest one if there's more than one to scroll on. That way you have the best chance to see all the more expensive cards that are on this filter, man. What you want to do is pick up Dwight Howard for about 5,500 MT and below if he pops up, and if anybody else pops up, buy them as quick as possible, man. You're making tons of profit, man. Also, what you can do is enable Dwight, which I do suggest. It makes this filter so much better, man. So you're going to buy the cheapest Dwight Howard on your console, send him to your collection, and then you're going to scroll down here, same thing, put your position to center, color to dark matter, team to rockets. You're going to turn on enabled and raise your maximum buyout up until you find the cheapest Ralph Sampson on your console. Should be going for around 25,000 MT on Xbox, man. What you want to do is pick up Titans Yao Ming for about 23k and below if he pops up. Pick up Ralph Sampson for about 20k and below if they pop up. And if anybody else pops up, you want to buy them as quick as possible, man. You can see endgame Yao Ming, endgame Hakeem on here. It's a very good filter, man. So spend some time on this. Before we get into the rest of the snipe filters, for the most reliable and cheapest 2k23 MT, hit up my sponsor at NBA2King.com and use code GRINDS for 5% off. The next filter we're going to go over is the Invincible Southeast division, man. What you want to do is set your theme to Invincible. You're going to put your division to Southeast. You're going to raise your maximum buyout up until you find the cheapest Penny Hardaway on your console. Again, I strongly suggest you scroll on the cheapest Penny, man. Grab Penny for about 8,000 MT, cheaper than the cheapest one, so grab him for about 34k if he pops up, man. If anybody else pops up on this filter, buy them as quick as possible, man. You got Mo Bamba, who's on this filter, man, who's going for about 70k. All the other cards, there's a few other cards you can snipe. They're all more expensive, so pick them up and make tons of profit. The next filter we're going to go over is the Invincible Northwest division filter, man. Set your theme to Invincible, set your division to Northwest. You're going to raise your maximum buyout up until you find the cheapest Ray Allen or Clyde Drexler, whoever it is on your console, man. On Xbox, Ray Allen's going for 29k. Drexler's going for about 32, man. I suggest, again, you scroll on the cheapest Ray Allen or whoever the cheapest card is. Grab Ray Allen for about, 6,000 MT, cheaper than the cheapest one. So if he pops up for about 3,000, man, go ahead and grab him. Grab Drexler around the same price range. Maybe you can do 25k for Drexler if you're on Xbox, man. Sell him for 32. It makes some profit, man. And then if anybody else pops up, buy them as quick as possible. The reason these filters are so good is because the cheapest Invincible is only 20k. Anytime you can be on a filter where cards are more expensive, man, people just check the cheapest Invincible and they'll throw up, Ray Allen for 20k, man. So work this filter. Another great filter, man, is the Invincible Pacific division, man. Set your theme to Invincible, your division to Pacific. There's so many expensive cards on this filter, man. You want to raise your maximum buyout up until you find the cheapest Kyle Kuzma, or also could be Devin Booker on this filter. One of those two are going to be the cheapest, or both around the same price point, man. Scroll on the cheapest Kyle Kuzma or Devin Booker. Buy them for about 5,000 MT, cheaper than the cheapest one like that you're scrolling on. So if Kuzma pops up for 5k cheaper, 24k, and also if D-Book pops up for 24k and below, buy them. And then if anybody else pops up, man, buy them as quick as possible. You got Lamar Odom. There's a lot of Lakers Invincibles, a lot of cards on here. It's a very good filter, man. The next filter we're going to go over, of course, our old reliable Invincible cheapest, man. Set your theme to Invincible. You're going to raise your maximum buyout up till you find the cheapest Invincibles on your console, man, which I'm strongly I need to look into it more. It's hard to find out with these Invincibles because they're kind of rare, but there might be bots buying them for 21,950. Not 100% on that, but that is what they're going for pretty much. Anyways, 22,000 is the cheapest Invincibles, man. What you want to do is put your maximum buyout down to about 17,000 if you want to do that, or you can scroll on the cheapest Invincible. If you see anyone is expensive, Shaq, T-Mac, LaMelo, any of the expensive Invincibles, buy them if they pop up. Otherwise, just grab them if they pop up for about 17,000 MT and below if you're not certain, so that way you're making profit, man. The next filter we're gonna go over is the Victor Wembanyama Dark Matter, man. 2K is such a W. They finally updated endgame Victor so he can now pop up on this filter, man. I had this filter in my video last week However, we got to include it again because he's now fixed, man. So you guys know this is a filter that is worth working for sure. Put your name to Victor, man. Put your color to dark matter. You're going to raise your maximum buyout up until you find the cheapest next Victor on your console, going for about 82,000 MT, man. What you want to do is scroll on the cheapest next Victor, man. I try to tell you guys all the time, man, scrolling is so much better, bro. If an Invincible Victor pops up for 81,000 MT and you got your max buyout down to 70K, man, you're not going to see it and you're going to be so mad. So scroll on the cheapest one, man. Grab Victor for about 70,000 MT and below. You want to give yourself a lot of room for profit, so that way you can undercut the cheapest next one if he pops up by a significant, you know, I do like 1,000 MT cheaper just so he sells quicker, man, and you know he's going to sell. So grab Victor Wemby for about 14,000 MT cheaper than the cheapest one, the next version. If the Invincible or the endgame pops up for any price point on the scroll you're working, man, buy it as quick as possible and you're making a ton of profit. The next filter we're going to go over is the dark matter cheapest filter. I say this almost every week, man. It is better on PlayStation, but still a good filter on both consoles, man. Set your color to dark matter. You're going to raise your maximum buyout up and find the cheapest dark matters on your console, which are selling pretty regularly for about 3,800 MT. You can sell them for if you have just, you know, 15-20 minutes worth of patience, man. So you want to go ahead and bring your maximum buyout down to 3,200 is what I suggest, man. If they're going for like 38, 37.50 on your console, go ahead and bring your maximum buyout down to 3,200. Keep refreshing, snipe absolutely anything that pops up. Make sure you check his price, because obviously you can see end games, invincibles, you can see any card, any dark matter on this filter, man. So give it a try, check the price. If not, if it's just cheapest card, post it up for 3,800, man. It'll sell within 15-20 minutes. The next filter we're gonna go over, man, we got to start including it more, because the end of the year is when this filter really heats up, man. Is the cheapest all filter, man. No color, no theme, no nothing. Set scroll your maximum buyout up until you find the cheapest cards on your console, which on Xbox are going for 850 MT right now. What I would suggest is you bring your maximum buyout down to 650, man, and just keep refreshing. Snipe absolutely anything that pops up, man. People a lot of times will throw up cards at the end of the year for 500, man. End game, a lot of snipes go up for 500 at this time of the year, man. So spend some time on this filter, especially if you're on a budget, man. This is a great way to get your MT up. You can snipe any card in the game on this filter. All right, now we need to start getting into the end game filters, because there are buyout end games now on PlayStation. It's much worse than it is on Xbox. However, you can use these filters on both consoles, man. Set your position to center, put your theme to end game. You're gonna put your minimum buyout to 500, man, and just keep refreshing. As of right now, everyone on here is a snipe, man. David Robinson is a little bit sus, man. Sometimes he goes for like 125, 130. So if you want to avoid him, if you only have exactly 100K, man, you might want to avoid David Robinson. Pick up anybody else that pops up, man. You'll definitely make profit on anybody else on this filter. You got Hakeem, Yao, Taco, a lot of great cards you can snipe on this filter. The next filter we're going to go over is the endgame cheapest filter, man. Set your theme to endgame. You're going to scroll your maximum buyout up until you find the cheapest endgame on your console. Like I said, man, on Xbox, the only buyout card right now is J.R. Smith, and he's still all the way up to 91K. On PlayStation, it might be around 80,000 MT, man. I'm not quite sure what it is on PlayStation, but you want to scroll on the cheapest one, man. If anybody pops up you know is expensive, man, like Yao Ming, or just monitor the price, guys. If you know the price, you can, you know, pick this out perfectly. But if not, you want to grab any card you're not sure if they sell for a lot of MT. You want to grab them for about 80,000 MT and below, including J.R. Smith. Maybe you can grab him for about 75K and below if he pops up, man, or whoever, you know, the cheapest cards on your console. This is a great filter, man. I sniped a Larry Bird on this filter for 14K yesterday, along with a Luka for 85K yesterday, man. So spend some time on this filter. It is still really good, man. And the last filter we're gonna go over is the endgame enable filter, man. You need to buy every buyout every buyout endgame on your console, man, which on Xbox, like I said, it's really just J.R. Smith right now. I also have Paulo, Tim Duncan, Dwayne Wade enabled. On PlayStation, you might need to buy Jimmy Butler, Larry Bird. I'm not exactly sure who all you need to enable. You need to send them all to your collection. Say if you have like a endgame Yao Ming right here, you need to make sure to send them to your auction, so that way you know that they will pop up. Because if you enable and you have expensive cards in your collection, they will never show up while you're trying to snipe. So anytime you're sniping, send any expensive endgames to your collection. And you're gonna come over here, set your theme to endgame. If we can get there, and your minimum buyout to 500. If you're on Xbox, man, there's only about 15 J.R. Smiths up. You want to count if there's less than 80 cards here that are for sale before you enable, you're all good. The filter is definitely working. You can just turn on enabled. On PlayStation, I do believe you need to raise your minimum bid up to 100K. Should be a working endgame filter. So theme endgame, minimum bid 100,000, minimum buyout 500. You're and turn on enabled after you buy all the expensive cards, man. Larry Bird, don't really want him. He's not really a snipe on Xbox, but that's it for the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, man. Smash that like button if you did. If you want to see the video where we sniped 0 to 1,000,000 MT, no money spent in 40 hours, man, click the video that's popping up on screen. J Grinds out.